Hi, welcome to Success Factors. I'm your host, Brenda Siri, and I'm joined today by Krista Medlock. She is the founder and chief experience officer of the Girl Cave, and I can't wait for Krista to share everything about this amazing organization.
Yeah.
Welcome, Krista.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Good. It's so good to have you. Krista, years ago, you had a vision for the Girl Cave. Can you share with our audience what that vision was?
Yeah. And I don't know that I had the vision for the Girl Cave as much as I had a vision for serving women.
Ah,
The Girl Cave found me, I think, is
mm,
probably the best way to articulate that. I knew that my work, the work that I invested in, whether it was through a corporation or whether I was going to create my own business, was going to serve women.
hmm
And I kind of tested the waters. I had an opportunity to do some brand activations for women-owned businesses. So it wasn't really the enterprise that it is today. It was just the Girl Cave events.
hmm
And we had proof of concept. We had engaged over 700 women and over 300 people per quarter in these brand activations all over the DFW Metroplex. And I said, okay, there's something here. Women are looking for something like this. And so COVID hit. And COVID gave me the opportunity to really sit down and think about, okay, how do I make this a thing? Like, how do I make this an enterprise that I could be proud of, that we could, expand and grow? And that's kind of what happened. But it started with serving women.
I love that. How do you integrate women's professional growth while allowing women to be themselves?
Yeah. Well, it's funny because we started off just supporting business leaders and entrepreneurs. And then we realized that you can go to a lot of business mixers and networking and connection, but you miss that deep, true connection.
Mhm.
So we decided to come up with pillars that really articulate whole person. And so that's sisterhood, selfhood, and livelihood. And so while we do support women business leaders, we always encourage selfhood first, meaning self empowerment, and just really taking responsibility of self so that they have their purpose and identity solidified, and so that they're a better sister or a better business partner to others. And then that then leads to professional success. So it's kind of how we structure everything that we do. Everything that we do is predicated on those three things, and we incorporate those tenets in everything that we plan and how we articulate who we are as an organization.
I know you refer to the Girl Cave as a modern day dream incubator.
Mhm.
Tell me more about that.
Yeah. I think most people, you can probably attest to this with some of the people maybe you've met in your career. Most people are not operating to their fullest potential. Most people are defaulting out of their dreams or their aspirations or their interests just to maintain their livelihood or just to maintain life. Maybe they have kids and they've kind of defaulted out of their dreams. And so we believe that we're the place, the catalyst where people can kind of reset and step fully and whatever those aspirations were that we lost in kind of like the mode of life, getting back to that and seeing how you can incorporate that in the things that you do. But it is truly a dream incubator, part purposeful, but part of it is that when you're around other inspiring women, you naturally feel empowered to follow your dreams. You get that you get invigorated and incited to do good things for yourself, and that then leads to dream catching, if you will. So it's neat.
It's kind of funny you said that. I went to a Girl Cave event
Mhm.
in the last month, and I was kind of having a down day and I really didn't feel like going, but
Yeah.
I've made a commitment to myself in 2026 to really push myself
Yeah.
to do things when I don't always
Yes.
have the
I think that's
energy.
good. Yeah.
And I left the event and I was telling my husband, I said, I am so energized by going to that event.
Yeah.
And you're right, you have created this place where women of all different walks of life, all different levels of professionalism
Yeah.
um, and personal reflection come together
Yeah.
and really energize each other,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you
It's
did that.
fun. Yeah. I I don't know. I hate to say that I did that. I think I created the platform, but the women, the community, the culture is really what makes that, that what illuminates that. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's having like-minded women together in one room who believe the same thing, who want good things for others, in themselves, but they want good things for others. So
I
it's
agree with
cool.
you. You have three amazing pillars that are the foundation of the Girl Cave. What do they mean to you? And what do they mean to your members?
Yeah. So, it's funny because I've always been a very strong individual. I've always been kind of the outlier in all my, as I grew up, I was always the one that is comfortable being by myself. I've always been able to communicate and, interact and have friend groups, but I had a very strong sense of self. And I really believe that is what is important in order to have clarity of purpose, clarity of identity so that you can achieve things. So, I think in that order, I mean, we say those are our 3 pillars, but in that order, if you can acquire, selfhood, which leads to full purpose and full potential, that then again begins to influence how you interact with other people. You want that for other people. And so
Mhm.
then you begin to be an inspiration for other people. They see and watch. Everybody's watching, right? Everybody's
Right.
watching what you're doing, or whether you are intending to or not, you are influencing the people around you. So if we have healthy people that are influencing other people to become healthy people, that then becomes a great sisterhood, right?
Yeah.
And in the healthy environments, there's no limitation what women can do. And so it's very personal. I think that's how I've gotten to where I am today. I think it's the reason why the Girl Cave exists. Even before we came up with pillars, I think that value system has put this community in the place that it has. So,
Mm, I like that. That's great. Before founding the Girl Cave, you actually had a really robust career in marketing and in
mhm,
brand strategy for some really notable companies.
mhm.
How did you choose your professional path?
I know you're going to laugh, but I didn't choose it either. I went to school to be a psychologist.
Oh, wow.
And my second year in college, I went and I had a mentor to kind of walk me through the career path. And she gave me some really harsh realities of being a psychologist. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm paying over $100,000 for my education. I need to figure something out really quick.
Yeah.
And I just decided to go and do an internship for a major personal care company. Didn't even know what brand management was. I just walked in there one day and said, okay, I know it's something to do with marketing, but I don't really know what it is. And fell in love with brand management, brand strategy. I mean, again, it's one of those things where my career found me. I couldn't have picked a better career for myself and had a very successful career, globally, actually,
Hmm.
cultivating that career. It's been exciting to fall into
Yeah.
that. Mhm.
And most people who are psychologists end up needing a lot of therapy from
Yeah.
what I understand.
Well, thank you. I might have dodged a bullet, although
Yeah.
I probably could use a little therapy too, but
No, I just hear it's really
yeah.
just so difficult to
Yeah.
carry the burden
It
of people's
is.
problems that they end
It
up in therapy
is.
themselves.
Yeah.
So you might have dodged a bullet. Good for
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
for switching
Yeah.
strategies.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what was the transition from brand strategy to creating the Girl Cave?
Yeah. I had a consultancy, Thriving Brands at the time, and, I mean, the business was great for over 20 years, actually. When I think back on it, I'm like, "I can't believe that I sustained a consultancy for over 20 years," but held a healthy book of business. But at one point, um, the work came back void,
Mm,
because I dealt with a lot of business owners who we'd have great strategic plans and we'd be moving forward. And once I had to let go of my part, in facilitating that part of their journey, you'd see just the plummet, just execution, implementation just went out the door. And so I wanted to do more. Like I wanted to step in and handhold and really support women in a deeper, richer way. And you can't do both. It's a lot. That's a very robust responsibility. So I just, as I transitioned by doing these brand activations, I could still run the consultancy, but do these what I call events and activations. And then I was able to move in COVID to move into the business full time. But they work hand in hand. That was what I was really doing.
mhm.
But it just shows up in a different way and in a branded organizational structure. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's shift to a little bit more personal matter.
Okay.
And let's talk about women's health.
Yeah.
I know that last year you had a very routine medical exam
Mhm.
that took an unexpected turn.
Yeah.
You want to share more about that with our audience?
Yeah, yeah. It's probably one of the things that none of us ever think that we would ever face. Like, even as a woman, you hear about it. We all support breast cancer. It's the C word. I hate to use the word,
The big C.
the big C. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, we always wear pink and we always support our friends, but you never think it could be you. Like getting the phone call that says, you know,
It's you.
it's you. Yeah. And actually, I remember it was Juneteenth. It was June 19th last year. It'll be a year this June.
Okay.
June 19th last year. I was at Gloria's having a Juneteenth Prosecco with one of my girlfriends at the bar. And I said, oh, I got to answer this. It's it was from the doctor. I'm thinking I have dense breasts. I wasn't thinking anything because that's what they say every year. You have
Right.
dense breasts. They want to check it out. Oh, it's okay.
Right.
And sure enough, I remember there wasn't any sugarcoating. It wasn't, oh, I'm so sorry, Krista, to tell you this. It was, hi, Krista, this is such and such with, the organization that did the mammography. It's breast cancer. We need to schedule you for. Like, it was that, it was just that.
Direct.
Yes.
Mm.
Yeah. And I said, and I remember standing there, I said, so I have that. And she goes, yes. And then she went back into her protocol to get me to the next step. So I didn't even have time to, I was just in shock. I remember I went back into the restaurant, grabbed my purse. I said, I've got to go. It's the C. And I left. I didn't even pay the bill. I guess my girlfriend paid the bill. So yeah, that's what started a year journey of just the unexpected.
Right.
Yeah.
I will say, when you told me that you had cancer, I was just shocked because you have not missed a beat, Krista. You just kept going and kept doing everything that you do to support the women who are members of the Girl Cave and make sure that those events still happened. And these aren't just like events where you're going to a fashion show. These are intense events that bring education and fellowship and networking and bring so much. There are fun things too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you never missed a beat. I didn't have a clue what you were going through. And I'm sure that, treatment was a bit of a challenge, to say the least.
Yeah, it was, but I didn't want the community to see the ugly side of that.
Yeah.
I feel responsible. People don't like to hear you say those things. People don't like to talk about it. And even if most people have experienced, if it's not them, they've still experienced it in their lives. But when it's someone close to you, it elicits a really dark and sad feeling within people. Like when you talk about it, I mean, it's sad. It is a sad thing to hear. And I didn't want to be that person. Like, I didn't want to be that person that people felt that way around, that weariness that comes with that sometimes. I didn't want that.
But don't you think, taking this a little bit religious for a minute, don't you think if you don't share it with people who are close to you, you reduce that opportunity for prayer?
I absolutely do. But I reframed it.
Yeah.
So I didn't allow people to respond to me by saying, I said, I got it. I promise you. I've got the best medical team. I'm walking through this, and I always came dressed and ready. Oftentimes people on their worst days, they would come with no makeup, no hair, the head wrap. I won't do a head wrap for anything. My friends were like, those little cute head. No, we're not wearing a head wrap. We're going to go get a wig and I'm going to look healthy.
I love it.
No. And so when they see me, they see hope.
Right.
They see healthy, even though that's not really what's going on, but they see healthy. I wanted that to be my story.
I love that.
So
I would be that person too if I went through what you have gone through, but you're doing much better.
Yes.
I know it's been quite a journey.
Yeah.
And I think that, what you really represent, is strength. You really do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'll accept that and receive it because I didn't realize strength has meant something different to me beforehand. And going through this, I did not realize. I didn't think that I was courageous. I knew I was a risk taker, and I'm an entrepreneur, so you do a lot of courageous things.
Right.
But I didn't know what courage truly was until this. And that's a cool revelation.
Yes.
And you're right. And since we did bring up faith, to God be the glory, because he's really what really walked me through that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I'm happy that you're on the other side of this
Me
now and
too.
doing
Yeah.
great. You look fabulous.
Thank you.
Tell me what's next for the Girl Cave.
Oh gosh, I can't keep up with the girl. Now it's time to be a big girl and run a business, right? Like,
Right.
because we after COVID, we relaunched in 2023. I don't think most people realize that, because everything that we've done has been just moving. Like, we've just been moving year by year by year and growing year by year by year. But now we have to actually put, processes in place and, operationalize the business and everything. So it is getting our infrastructure in place. That's the yucky side of it.
Yeah.
The good side of it is that we are branching outside of our North Texas area, moving into other markets and states. We have a lot of different tiers of business. So the Girl Cave national objectives, like the strategic collective and bringing other women from across the United States, is now happening. The social club will continue to exist, but we're even looking at the social club coming and opening up in other markets. So you're going to see a lot of growth over the next few years in terms of bringing women together across the United States.
That is super exciting.
It is exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah.
If someone's watching today and they're interested in learning more about the Girl Cave, we do have a slide we're going to show now that's got a fabulous little QR code that people can go up and connect to the Girl Cave and learn more about the organization. But if you were just going to give an elevator pitch to someone that walked up to you and said, "Tell me about this organization that you've created," what's your elevator pitch?
The first thing I would say is, we can show you better than we can tell you. You can always promote an organization, but until you walk into a culture that is so unique and so vibrant and so collaborative, you really won't even understand the scope and breadth of what it is that we're doing. So I would say, come and visit, meet someone else in the community, and learn really what the value system is of that culture. But I would also say that if you've ever had an interest, a dream, anything that you wanted to do beyond you, that's the place. I mean, it's the place for every woman who's ever dreamed about anything. I know that sounds pretty vast, but it's true.
I think it's true.
I think that for me, I think for a woman who's kind of been sleeping on things and said, "Oh, well, I really wanted to have a podcast, or I really wanted to write a book, or I wanted to be on a stage and speak, or I wanted to educate women about this," then that's the place to be.
Yeah, I will say the Girl Cave is a place where you will laugh, you will cry, you might pray, you might meet a business partner. You'll definitely be compelled in a different way than you have ever been before. This is not just your typical networking group. It's an amazing, amazing group that you dreamed about and made come true. And I'm so happy to be part of it, and so thankful that you were here today. And I hope that women are encouraged who are watching this to not forget to get mammograms. That's very important.
Yes.
And if you're looking for a place to elevate your business and meet some amazing people, that you'll take that QR code and connect with Krista and the Girl Cave.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for
that.
being here.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
Yeah. That's it for Success Factors today, and we'll see you next time. Bye.